All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome. Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Master. Let me know that you can. I can't see anyone yet. Okay, I can see some people. Good evening, everyone. Good day, good morning, good afternoon. It depends on where you're joining me from. You All right, I'm so sorry about that. Looks like we had a network glitch there. I hope Niger does not happen to us today. All right, so if you are here, please let me see you in the comment section. Good evening, Coach MB. Thank you very much. Emmanuel, please, Gloria, let me know that you can see me and you can hear me clearly in the comment section. You can also remind your people in the group that we are live just in case some people do not know we are live yet. But I would like to get the feedback that you can see me and you can hear me so that I can shoot. All right. Can you see me? Can you hear me? I will just go ahead and introduce myself, assuming that you can. All right, while I get feedback. So, my name, okay, we can see and hear you. Thank you. Hi. Ebubeimana, it's good to have you here. I like it when I see my mastermind parents, in the room. All right, so thank you for joining. Thank you, mastermind parents. Thank you for everyone who is here today. Welcome to this eye-opening educative session. All right, so in this session I'm going to be with Miss Alu. For those of you who have joined any of our toddler programs, you will know Miss Alu by now. So Miss Alu is an early years expert. She is like hands-on full-time in school. She is a center manager, a head of school of a nursery center for 0 to 6 year olds in Abu Dhabi. So she's eating oil money. Okay, that's by the way. So and then she is a curriculum expert also. So when we're talking about building that curriculum, building your PEP, all right, Miss Alu is right here and she's big on that. Okay, those of you who know me and have done PEP courses with me, you know I'm also big on putting that curriculum together so that there's a roadmap to guide your children. So in this course today, or in this masterclass, we will touch a bit on all of these things, a little here, a little there. It's a master class, so we've tried to pack in a lot in this master class. All right, but it's going to be a little here, a little there, so that you have a big picture. I mean, so that you just an eye opener basically, and then we can start looking for real solutions to deal with each of these things that we know that we need. All right, so welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to be taking the first part of this, which is going to be about 25 minutes, 30 minutes, I hope. And then Miss Alu is going to come in and take the second part of this. And after that, we'll have about 20 minutes to have ask questions, and make it as practical as possible. Ask your question as they do you from inside, all right, so that we can answer those questions. And apart from that, we have other resources and other opportunities for you to dive in deeper with us, all right, after this class, and we will be talking about that. Before then, I have a resource that Miss Alu are going to be sharing with you. We have put together a play-based schedule for the Easter holiday. So we're going to be giving that to you for free. I say thank you, thank you, thank you. So make that available for you to download right? After this class, maybe today or tomorrow at most, you can get that to download for free. All right, so let's move on. I'm going to be calling up my slide right now. I hope I have it here. It doesn't. Give me a second, please. Give me a second. Let me try and call up my slide. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Let them know in the group that we are live. Give me a second, please. Let me understand why I can't see my slide. All right, thank you. I think I have my slide up. So I like this particular picture. I use it a lot. I love this picture, so I use it a lot in a lot of my sessions. So in this picture is my daughter and her friend. All right, she's 9 years old right now. She's almost 10 right now, and this is when she was about 4 years old. All right, so I like it because it captures the whole essence of play. Because this one played with reckless abandon. Talk about a child who played and knew what it meant to play. All right, so we'll be looking. As we know, this masterclass is playful techniques, right? Applying playful techniques to learning at home. How can we apply playful techniques in helping our children learn at home? Okay, and let's move on. So introduction, sorry about that. So introduction, the home environment is actually an essential is an essential place for our children to develop. We cannot overemphasize how essential the home is to the foundation of growing for our children. The home is said to be the first school, and you, dear parents, are your child's first teacher. I always love to add that you are the first teacher and the most important teacher in your child's life. If I didn't understand that, I understood it one time when, as a teacher, I've told this story many times. As a teacher, I had a challenge with one of my parents, and I had gone for a meeting with the parents and the head of my school at the time. We finished that meeting, and at the end of the meeting, I was like, okay, what's going on here? And she said, just sit down, Miss Mary Beth. After the parent left, she closed the door and she said to me, I need you to look at it this way. I need you to pour your heart into this child for this 1 year, telling yourself this truth, that you have this child for 1 year, and in that 1 year, you can give the child everything that you have, because you have their ears and you have their hearts, but you have it for just 1 year. But as a parent, this parent is going to have this child for the rest of her life. This parent is going to have this child forever and forever. So, whatever this child is, whoever this child is, whatever this child turns out to be, this parent is going to have to live with forever. Now, she was talking to the teacher, but it was the parent in me that heard her, because I left that room that day knowing that as a parent, my child and what my child is and everything is going to be what I am going to live with for the rest of my life. And that day I made a decision that I will raise a child that I will never, never, never have to worry about because of what I didn't do or what I should have done, and all of that. Basically, I made up my mind that I was going to be an advantage to my child, understanding full well that I am the child's first and most important teacher. The home is the child's first and most important classroom. Hillary Clinton said that. And There's another quote. Who was that? Was I can't remember that quote, but I love it. But anyway, the home should be a sanctuary, a safe place where the child feels secure to learn, to explore, and to grow. I will repeat that. Your home should be a safe sanctuary where your child feels comfortable, where your child feels safe to learn, to grow, and to explore. So there shouldn't be, you can't come and sit down here at a particular time. This place is beyond you. This place you shouldn't touch. You remember how we grew up and there was that parlor, there was that place in the house that you couldn't go to because it was a no-go zone. There shouldn't be anything like that. Should we have boundaries that spells out how the children are supposed to, how the children are supposed to be, or what is acceptable in our home, or what is right? Yes. But should there be places that our children cannot explore in our home? No. These are deeper conversations. But basically, I want you to know today that our homes should be safe for our children to grow, for our children to learn, and our children to explore. Now, let's look at the importance of play. That is part of why we are here. Because a lot of times as parents, we tend to think that when children play, they are wasting their time. And when I say children, I'm not just talking about your infants or your babies that are crawling or your toddlers. I'm talking about your child, provided that child is still a child. There is the way that your 13-year-old can play. Your 15-year-old can play. Your 13-year-old can play. So in this class, our focus is on 0 to 10-year-olds. So by all means, your child should play. There is no reason why your 10-year-old, even your 13, 14, even 15-year-old should not play. When our daughter was, it's only this year. Somehow I noticed our daughter she would rather play indoors right now because she's very hands-on. She wants to crochet. She wants to do things like that. Before, when she wanted to dig into sand and all of that, we were glad to have her have 2 hours after school to dig into sand and do whatever she had to do outside before she came inside. So play is the work of a child. Let the child play. All right. Play is the work of a child. You know, the way as a parent, you wake up and you go to your business. You go to your restaurant, right? You go to your bank. You go to whatever job you go to. When your child wakes up, play is your child's job. So how do you tell a doctor not to go to work and work? Your child's job is to play. Very important. Now, there is this quote that I love by Brian Sutton Smith. He says, the opposite of play is not work. The opposite of play is depression. So dear parents, when you are not allowing your child to play, you are actually creating room for your child to be depressed. Play is the work of a child. Very important. Are you with me? If you are in this house, please let me know that you are here by telling me that you are here and you are following. Remember, this is for about 20-25 minutes before Miss Alu comes in, so I'm going to try and hurry. I'm going to try and rush because we don't want to keep you here for longer than an hour or tops an hour and 20 minutes. Now, let's look at the educational benefits of play. All right, because when we understand that this play is connected to education, because in this part of the world, we love education, we love school, we love academics. So most times the things that come between our children, between our children playing and whether we think they are wasting their time is schoolwork, it's academics. So we want you to see that even that play that you are stopping the child from playing is you hindering the child from the same academic success that you want them to achieve. There is a huge connection between play and, education, basically. So there is a huge benefit. So let's know these things right now so that we won't be one of those ignorant lots out there who are there fighting the same thing that is supposed to be beneficial to our children. All right. So let's look at some of these benefits. All right. Let's look at some of the benefits of play. We'll be discussing about 10 of them if we have time, or maybe a little less. Okay? Play as active learning. Play as active learning. So we're going to be using some principles, some educational principles to understand this. All right. So there is the principle of constructivism. All right. And this principle emphasizes that learners actively construct their own knowledge through experience. Learners construct their own learning, all right, through experiences. I love the Montessori principle, and I think Montessori's principle is wrapped around this, right? Believing that when children play in the right environment, they are able to construct their own learning in that environment, and they get the right kind of support in that environment. So when children play, they are able to explore. It is through exploration, the experiences that our children have, that they're able to construct basically, and they're able to establish. So if your child is not playing, if your child is not getting experiences, there is nothing that is available for them to use and construct. So it is important that they are playing. Play provides hands-on interactive experiences where children are not passive recipients. They are not just sitting down and listening. They are not just sitting down and watching. They are actively using their hands. They're actively experiencing, that event, or experiencing what it is in their world, in their environment that is happening at the time. You know how we say in education that the hands is the instrument of the brain. The more the child is moving, the more neural pathways, the more the child is experiencing doing, the more neural pathways are being created, the more neural connections are made in the child's brain. And of course, this is how pathways are created. We will talk about that a little more. All right. So the more the child plays, the more the child is able to construct, basically, because now the child is an active participant. The child is a creator. The child is an explorer. And as the child is exploring and creating, the child is creating experiences, and these experiences are causing neural connections in the child's brain. So it is important that we understand play as active learning. So, dear parents, can you allow our children act and not just sit and be passive? Do you know a lot of times when children go to school and they sit down in those classes where the learning is actually rote learning, as we have in many of our schools in Africa? The child sits down, the teacher takes the white chalk or marker or whatever. The teacher is in front. The teacher is the one doing all the instruction. The teacher is the one doing all the talking. The child is just listening. Do you know that is passive? It is the same thing that happens when we bring in those lesson teachers. The lesson teachers come and they continue where the teachers stop. They are the ones who direct the learning. Most often the child is like this, listening and paying rapt attention. There is still a passive elements to that learning, as opposed to when the child is moving, the child is playing, the child is doing, the child is trying to make sense of the things in their environment. So this will bring us to what kind of environment are we creating in our home. Miss Alu is going to be talking a little about that. And of course, we have something put together that will focus on that, a whole full challenge where all we are going to be doing is doing active learning, so that we understand how this helps, and helps our children to construct, and we can start practicalizing it and knowing what to do to create more experiences in this area. All right, the next one is play resilience, and of course play resilience and adaptability, the growth mindset. Now the principle here is play helps children to develop resilience and adaptability by allowing them to experience and overcome challenges in a safe way. in their environment. Growth mindset is developed by the ability to try and keep trying and keep trying and keep trying until you get it. Now, picture your child trying to climb a tree. That's what happens when they go out there and they're trying to climb a tree. The child is trying to climb a tree, and then the child tries a strategy. It doesn't work. The child tries. Have you seen your toddler? Your crawling child trying to crawl. Have you watched a child who's trying to crawl? Right? As the child is trying to, they fall, they get up again, they fall. That's a perfect picture of a child trying. But do you know that is the same thing that happens when your 8-year-old is playing, when your 10-year-old is playing, when your 12-year-old is playing? When they are playing, especially when we get involved in this play and you pay attention to them, you will actually see that they try and then they fail. There is no other way to teach. There is no way to teach failure as when we allow children play, really. When they play, we will see them fail. It's so easy to understand failure in the playground. It's so easy to teach resilience in the playground. It's so easy to teach starting and finishing on the playground. So sometimes we are wondering why our children do not finish anything that they start. We're wondering why your child will start washing the dishes. They will do 1, 2, they will abandon it, they will move to some other thing. They will do a bit of that, they will abandon it the next time they are doing their homework. And you come in and you're wondering, who swept and left this thing halfway? The child. You go to the kitchen, who washed and left this halfway? The same child. What are you doing right now? I'm doing my homework. Oh, Guinea, what's going on? Why they do not know how to start and finish? A lot of times because they didn't role play these things. They didn't learn these things in the playground. We didn't teach these things, in a way that is exciting, that was tantamount to play. Do you know, dear parents, that whether your child is doing dishes, your 4-year-old, your 2-year-old doing dishes with you, whether they're doing dishes with you, okay, for the child is playing, provided you know how to go about it, provided you know how to turn it into a play activity. Do you know your child will internalize it as play, and it becomes default that your child can navigate through this experience in a fun way? These are the issues, the fact that we don't present these things in a fun way that our children can run with. All right, so let's go to the third one quickly. Play and cognitive development, according to the Piaget and Vygotsky theories. Now, this principle says that play fosters cognitive development, including problem solving, thinking, creativity. Vygotsky's there is that proximal development theory that says that when children play with adult supervision or with support from people with higher knowledge, right, they actually learn more. Now, that's where you come in as a parent. When our children play with our guidance, when children play under our guidance, under our supervision, where we can actually prompt them. Your child is trying to do something and the child is doing it, and you're right there with the child, encouraging the child, right? And when the child gets into problem, they turn to you, you're able to prompt them, okay, how about looking at it a different way? Have you thought of, if you did it this way, what the outcome can be? You're not solving the problem for the child, but you're guiding the child, you're prompting the child, to try other ways, to look at other possibilities and all of that. All right, that on its own will help the child learn to problem solve, will let the child get into that place where they can think, will get the child into that place where the child can actually push themselves to try and think. Do you know, a lot of us do not think? Even as adults, a lot of us do not think, and thinking is a learned skill. You can actually teach your child how to think, basically, and this is what this principle is talking about. All right, the proximal development principle, okay, that says that play can stretch a child's ability with the support of a more knowledgeable other person around the child. So very important. All right, the next one, I'm trying to go very fast, is play and cultural understanding. All right, this principle says that play is a powerful way to transmit cultural values, traditions, knowledge, Cultural responsive education emphasizes the importance of incorporating culture elements into learning. All right, all of those role play. There's so much. There's a lot that we need to pass down to our children. All right, our convictions, our traditions, our culture, our beliefs, our values. Have you ever thought, what's the best way for me to pass all of this down to my child? All of these convictions that will form who your child is, that will form the individual that your child becomes. All of these convictions. How do we start teaching them? We should start teaching them right from the cradle. And how do you teach your 2 months, your 5 months, your 1 year old child about your culture, your traditions, your convictions, your faith? It is through role play and other things that we can do. Now, these are the things that we're going to be sharing with you. All right, we're going to be sharing with you how to pass down these convictions, what kind of play strategies you can use, or what kind of play techniques to use to pass this kind of thing that is not math and English, so that our children can take and internalize them. So by the time our children are 12 and 13, we don't start struggling and saying we don't wear this kind of clothes, because then it becomes between you. It becomes you against culture, or you against their peers, or you against what society says. If these convictions have not been passed down early enough that it becomes a norm in your home. And I tell you, dear parents, for someone who works with children, the best time to pass your convictions down to your children is between ages 0 and 6. It sits down so well that nothing can shake it. I was talking to our 15-year-old the other day, and I was saying that I know, there are a lot of struggles that, people have that I don't have, right? It was my husband I started talking to, but our son was there. There are a lot of, I see people, I have friends, and all of that. There are a lot of things that parents struggle with today. And I know that it's not necessarily because, our son is excellent or anything. I just know it's simply because started passing those convictions early enough. So we are in a place right now, and we don't have to struggle, because some of these convictions have become his own convictions, and we don't have to push and have to fight about it, basically. But if you don't pass these convictions, as I said, it's going to be you against pop culture, you against tradition, you against every other thing, culture, peers, tradition, all of it, you're going to be fighting against. And we don't want that. We don't want that. And of course, even for those of us who have older kids, we want to start doing something intentional. What kind of play strategy would we use? These are the questions, okay? But it is important that we know that play can do all of this for us. All right? The neuroscience of play. How did we get here? All right, so let's go. We're going very fast. So let's look at the neuroscience of play. Neuroscience reveals that, right, there's a profound impact that play has on brain development. We may not be able to dive deep into this, but the truth is, as children play, right, it affects the brain wiring, all right? It affects the brain wiring as children play. I don't think that I can dive into this a lot, because I think I have just about 3 minutes and all of that. But let's try and explain neuroplasticity. Basically, every time we have a new experience, all right, as I said, there are neural connections that are happening in the brain. As these neural connections happen, neurons are connected to each other, creating a pathway. So the more the child has that experience, the more that pathway is made fine. So when children play, it creates experiences in their brain. When children interact with their environment, it creates experiences in their brain. So whatever, neural connections basically in their brain. So whatever it is that you want to teach your child, whatever aspect of learning that we want to teach our children, the moment we're able to rope it into some sort of play, what happens is we are creating experiences in the child's brain, or neural connections are created in the child's brain as a result of that experience. The more we do these things with the child, the more the pathway is finer, and this becomes a part of the child. This becomes a thing that the child begins to master and the child begins to internalize. So, what is that thing you want to teach your child? Is it math? Is it science? Is it your values? Is it emotional intelligence? Whatever aspect of life. The moment we can create a system of play around it, and we do this, we are creating neural connections. And the moment we do this over and over again, these things become, a part of the child, and the child masters it, and it is fun because it is created in a fun way. The child is able to, internalize it, and it's a part of the child, as opposed to when it is something that is a stressor, right? When it's a stressor, the child is not able to enjoy it. And so those neural pathways that can be refined over time from the enjoyment of doing this thing over and over again is weakened because the child does not enjoy it, and it has not been presented in a fun way. And dear parents, we are not doing these things with our children. So if you're going to depend on just what happens in school once in a while, it means that that pathway is not passed over and over again enough for it to be something that the child internalizes, because of how consistently that pathway is used. Basically, that's how the brain works. So if we can bring these things home, and we can do it in a fun way, and we do it over and over again, then it's easy for our children to gain mastery of that skill, mastery of that aspect of learning, because we are a part of it, and we can apply consistency in that area more than any traditional school can do. So this part of what we're talking about. All right. So I'm going to go straight into, the last part of this. All right. The role of parental support. We cannot remove parental support even in play, because sometimes when we hear play, what you're thinking of as a parent is, okay, let them go and play around with their children, with their friends and all of that. No, the play has to be constructive. If you've heard what I'm saying, play, there has to be learning. So we want to we want to teach math in a playful way. We want to teach language in a playful way. We want to teach values in a playful way. So we can actually create that roadmap. We can actually create that curriculum in our home and infuse play into our curriculum, such that it is passed down to our children as learning. All right. The language of learning is play. Play is a language of learning. So as a parent, the moment you can find playful ways to help your child learn whatever it is that the child is learning, then you are on your way to helping the child to become a willing learner that will eventually become a lifelong learner. So this is one of the things that we are missing, or that we have not gotten that's one of the tricks that we'll say. That's one of the hacks that we have not gotten. That's one of the hacks that, of course, traditional schools are missing. And as parents, we are also missing, not being able to take whatever we want to teach and look for playful techniques that we can use to teach these things. Because when we use playful techniques, then we are speaking the language of the child, because play is a language of a child. Play is a language of love. Play is a language of learning for a child. All right. Now, when we are also able to take this and apply our cultural dimension, or apply our dynamics into it, it becomes even easier for the child to learn. For instance, as an African parent, you can actually, in your home, your child understands your home, your culture, and how you guys do it in your home. Now, if we're able to take learning and apply our own dynamics around it, that learning becomes more authentic, and it's easy for the child to actually internalize, and it's easy for us to put it as part of our everyday practice and system. And that's where we're able to create that pathway that we're talking about, that helps us practice over and over and over again until the child masters it and it becomes a part of the child. All right. The last one I'm talking about is knowledge. having knowledge. And of course, when we have knowledge, then we know what to do. When you have knowledge, then you are not like the regular parent out there. When you have knowledge, you're not like the person who is insisting on lesson teacher after lesson teacher after lesson teacher. You're not like the person who is insisting that the child is not doing the right thing without looking back at the foundation. You're not like the person that is insisting, or you're judging the child by the child's ability. I mean, talk of judging a fish by its ability to climb a tree. A lot of times, that's what we do as parents. We're judging our children based off on some other person's, beliefs, or some other person's ability, or probably our own abilities or our own traumas. So we are judging them based on the whole yardstick that the child has got no business with. Now, when you have knowledge, then you know how to position yourself to be a solid support system for your child. When you have knowledge, then you understand the place of creating a roadmap that is individualized and can help your child learn based on the child's style of learning, based on the child's temperament, and everything that is individualized, right? You can personalize or customize that child's learning because you know how the child learns. You know everything about the child's interest. You're able to use their interest, their style of learning, their temperament, and all of that, and rope it into the child's learning. Now, because you know and you have knowledge, you're able to create structure. That structure will include creating a personalized education plan, and of course, using routines and what do you call it, schedules, routines, and all of that to drive it. But if you are not knowledgeable, then you do not know how to go about this, and it all comes and sabotages, of course, your journey. If you are not knowledgeable, you will not know how to use play, or what play strategy, or what play techniques to use. And that's what this course is about, and that's what what we have put together for you after this course is about. Now, I said we're going to be sending you a template that you can use. It's a whole holiday plan. In that holiday plan, I mean, for the Easter holiday, you can use it for the Easter holiday plan, okay? In that holiday plan, you would have play, different kinds of play that you can structure into the whole holiday. That way, you are able to touch on different aspects of the child's learning. All right. I work with children in the Mastermind Circle, and there are 10 significant areas or signature areas that we work on. I call it our signature areas. Those 10 signature areas, it means that you can create learning in all of these 10 areas that include financial skills, kingdom life, that's faith, self-management, home management, right? Their skills and their talents. You can create, I mean, I'm going to be sharing that, in the next program that we have that you need to be a part of, where we will be doing a whole challenge, right? We'll be doing a whole challenge to accelerate your child's learning. In that challenge, what you would do is we would have the kind of techniques that you can use for each of these different areas of learning. So if you're a parent that has already created a plan, right? You have already created a personalized education plan for your child. Now you are looking for which technique to use and teach self-management. You're going to be using, what technique do I need to teach self-management in this area? What technique am I going to use to teach values? How do I incorporate play into this in that curriculum? This is what we are going to be doing in the Accelerate Your Child's Learning Challenge. Okay, I think I'm going to stop right here and then get Miss Alu to come and take the class from here. Thank you very much. We will meet again at the end of the class, where we will be taking questions, and we will be talking a little more about the Accelerate Your Child's Learning Challenge. All right, thank you again. Miss Alu, you're coming on screen.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. It's my pleasure to be on. I'm excited. Let me say, March, April is about the most exciting time for me, because myself and Mary Beth come together to talk to you about something that I'm really, really passionate about. And I'm grateful to God that I was able to learn about personally, even as a parent, when my children were still young, and even as an educator. As Mary Beth already introduced me, my name is Aloyshima Shapra. I live in the United Arab Emirates. I work as a nursery director. I'm a curriculum expert and teacher trainer as well. Mary Beth has spoken to you about play. What is play? Why play? Why is it important? Why are we coming here year after year to talk about it? And she's giving you like the total background. She's giving you every single thing on why play is important. And when she was talking, I kind of remembered like kind of the mindset our parents used to have when they would say to you, why are you people playing? Why are you wasting time playing? Not knowing that that was how we were actually learning about our world. She's gone on to speak about why play is important. Why play? She's spoken about the science behind it. She's spoken about the benefits, how it supports the child's neural development, and all of those. From now, I'm going to come to you and talk to you as the educational expert on how can we create an environment that enables play at home. Why? Why should we do this? Why are we Can you just pause a moment and think, what if I told you that the greatest way that your child could learn is not through a book, or it's not through a screen? I know we are living in a world where there's so much being touted on technology, apps for maths, apps for English, apps for all kinds of apps for learning, and different kind of books. Yes, books open up a whole world of learning. I will never undermine the place of books, but I want to tell you that it's what we take from the books that will broaden the child's imagination. So what if I challenge your thinking today on this masterclass and told you that the greatest learning tool in your house is not you buying books and more books, it's your child's imagination. So I just want you to take a minute and imagine this. Imagine, just close your eyes. Imagine a child with blocks on your coffee table in the living room, or okay, let's say you have a family room, or you just have an area in the house, and there's a mirror nearby, and there's a cardboard box to the side. This is just a simple setup. I, I'm here to talk to you about how you can recreate this environment in your house. In this simple setup of just having blocks, if you have, or let's say you have old shoe boxes and you kept it close to the window because there's the place of having the light in the room, and there's a mirror and there's a cardboard box. This is a simple setup, but the magic of learning is already happening. So I want to challenge you and ask you again, what if this was your home acting as the teacher? At the end of this session, you will I will be talking to you about why the home environment. Why does it matter? Why are we not leaving this for the schools to do? After all, we are paying so huge amounts of school fees. Why are we not just leaving it for the teachers to do? And again, from my session, I hope that you will be able to, I am 100% sure that you'll be able to turn your home into a space where learning happens naturally without spending a single naira on toys or gadgets. Because sometimes when we talk about creating an environment, sometimes when you Google that, you will see that you need to buy this, buy that. And as parents, having different commitments, we might become discouraged. So why? Why is the home? Why does the environment matter? I want to talk about the principles, the educational principles behind why the home environment is important. So the first two, I'm going to two curriculums. First, there are two curriculums that talk about the environment and why it's important. These two curriculums are, Miss Marybeth mentioned it, the Montessori method and the British EYFS. Both of these educational frameworks or methods believe that the environment, the prepared environment, is considered a teacher. So, what is a prepared environment? What is this? I will explain this. But simply thinking, a prepared environment is one that has the right materials at levels that your child can access or easily reach. Mary Beth said we have some areas which, yes, as moms, especially those of us that are concerned with aesthetics, maybe we have some areas in the house where we say, don't sit here, don't go there, don't touch this. But why? Why am I thinking of the home as a place or an environment where learning can happen? It is because years of research have backed up research has gone into the fact that when the environment is prepared, the Montessori method started by Maria Montessori showed that when the environment was prepared, ready with materials to spark interest and curiosity, this invited the children to explore. And as they were playing and exploring, learning like problem solving, language, cognitive skills were happening. The British EYFS, which is also the Foundation and Standards of Learning in the UK, also shows that a prepared environment also caters to the development of the unique child. So this is why we are looking at the environment anyway. Just to go back there, why does environment matter? As a parent, it matters because once it's prepared, you will start to see magic begin to happen. There are possibilities. It will provoke curiosity. Another reason why the environment matters is Marybeth mentioned that you are the first teacher for your child. The environment matters because the environment is the third teacher. And this concept of the third teacher was brought about by a philosophy called the Reggio Emilia approach. The Reggio approach also speaks about the environment being the third teacher. Naturally, as human beings, we are curious people. You've seen us. Once something is happening somewhere, we want to know what is happening. So we are curious beings. We are born that way. So children respond to spaces that spark curiosity. The space itself will guide them, will invite them, and cause them to learn. So this is why after we spoke about play and why play is important, we are talking about why the home environment should be set up in a way that it invites the child to play. It's because the environment is the third teacher. It's also the way that the children will learn. Okay, you might say I'm just talking off of these things off of my head, but this research, backed up research with evidence that shows that yes, the environment is indeed the teacher. We have a theory proposed by Yuri Bronfenbrenner, he's a Russian, and it emphasizes that development is influenced by environmental systems. So with the family being the primary context, so let's say simply put in simple English, environment influences development. Just picture this. When we talk about, let me back up and talk about environment. When we're talking about environment, we're talking about the indoor environment, which is inside the house, and we're talking about the outdoor environment, which is also outside your home. And there's another kind of environment called also the emotional, that you can either define the environment as the physical, that's the one we see, and also the emotional environment created in the home. So this is theory showing that development is influenced by the environment. So whether it's the physical environment that you have prepared things physically in the house, or whether it's in the emotional environment, it is going to influence how your children will learn. And we see, even without being told, many of us today, we have biases, or maybe the way we talk, the way we approach problem, the way we emotionally regulate. just because of the home environment that was created. The other day, I watched a clip where two ladies were, I think they were having a, what will I say, like a fallout in the office. The other lady was very calm. She would give her point after point. She wasn't screaming. She wasn't raising her voice because she knew how to articulate her point. She was emotionally regulating before speaking. And that just resonated with it. Said to me, this is a lady that has grown up in an environment where she has been taught to emotionally regulate and have difficult conversations. And this is what this theory is proposing. The development is influenced by various environmental systems, with the family being the primary content. So interactions, experiences with the home will directly affect the way the child will grow and have learning outcome. Marybeth spoke about resilience. Resilience is the ability of the child to persist, keep trying till they succeed. In some homes, we have not created an environment for the child to play and keep trying and be resilient. Once there's a problem, we'll jump in, we'll solve that problem. We'll not just allow them to try. We are seeing this developing into men that are not resilient. They cannot take challenges at all. So, another theory that backs up the reason why the environment is very important to support play is the Hebbian theory. It was introduced by Donald Hebb. It suggests that neural connections are strengthened through repeated experiences. So the home environment can create repeated experiences. Marybeth talked about the environment. It's just, yes, let's give it. Lots of preschools now, early learning centers are evolving. They also understand the importance of environment. But what if your child's center or daycare or your child's school, it's not that kind of place? You, as the first teacher of the child, need to understand that research shows that that's when we talk about neural connections, we're talking about brain pathways. They are formed when there are repeated experiences. So a stimulating home environment rich in engaging activities can enhance cognitive and brain development, opening up this neural pathway. So like I said, why is the home environment important? It's important because the prepared environment, as evidenced by the Montessori method, we pay so much for schools that are using the Montessori method, schools that are using the British EYFS, they've shown the power of the prepared environment. The home environment is also important because of the ecological systems theory. It's also evidenced by the Hebbian theory. So let's breathe now and try to be practical. Let's look at 3 corners you can create in your house today for play and learning. Everyday items you didn't even know were learning tools. Let's just think about, because this is what this masterclass, you have it in you. You have the potential that you are even in this in this masterclass already shows that you are concerned about your child's holistic development. And I'm so proud of you because you know the power of this window, 0 to 6. You even after 6, you understand the power of leveraging on play and how it can be used in your environment. So what a play ready home looks like, this, before I understood the power of presenting materials to children in the house, I will pack. I was thinking as a mother, I was thinking about organization. I will pack the children's toys and I will put it in boxes and I will close the boxes. I will just keep it. I was thinking in terms of organization. I did not think that I should present these materials in the way that even without my support, because sometimes this is the biggest problem that we mothers have. We don't have the time. Maybe your child wants to play with the blocks, but you've already packed the blocks. You put it in that your nice basket, you covered it, or that your aesthetic box, and you kept it on the top. The child wants to play with these blocks, or he wants to just play with maybe cars. They are not at the child's level. How are they going to play? And then another way to ensure that the play will never stop, because it's not every time you are going to have money to go and buy toys. Think about using open ended materials like blocks, loose parts. What are loose parts? Loose parts are materials that are open ended. Just think about like old shoe boxes, clothes, fabrics, your spoons, wooden ladles, pots, fabric, nature items. This is how you can get your home ready for play. This is how you can get it. And always think beauty, because we are saying we are naturally curious beings, and our children have it. Just imagine that you take a box now, you kept this box, maybe a colorful box or a glass box, and then you just kept it in the room. Once your child, we see them, even the older ones do it, even our husbands, once they're present, they'll be like, what is in this box? They want to open it. Not to talk of when you put these materials beautifully on the shelf or on the floor. That will be engaging and inviting to them. Use calm colors. So one thing that a big mistake parents or even educational settings used to make is they think the brighter the color, that is what the child will be engaged in. No, some of these colors, research has also even articulate adds to the child's agitation. So having a room with natural light. Do you always keep your windows closed? You always draw your curtains? It could be hampering your child's how will I put it, urge to play. Open the windows. You have natural light, calm colors, minimal clutter. Don't gather too many things. It's not about many things. And let them be flexible space that the child can be able to move around and explore. That is, it's very, very important. So now we want to talk about how we are going to make it work in real life. Some of us don't have the liberty of having a house that have big space. Some of us are blessed with big spaces. Some of us, okay, the indoors is small, but the outdoors is large. Or some of us are so blessed that we have a park close to our house. So let us make it work. What do you have that is working with you? If your space is a small space, then you can get a cart. You can get a cart that you can push, or even some of these plastic trolleys. You will use them to rotate play items. Okay, I said present the items in a way that the children can easily access. I don't have the space to come and put shelves and arrange these things for the child. Then I can use a cart. Maybe this week I say, okay, I want to spark their interest about plants, or I want to spark the interest about nature materials. I can gather sticks, stones, leaves. I will put it in this cart. Maybe that week, that is what we are exploring. The next week, I want them to learn about, Mary Beth talked about the power of culture. Maybe I want them to even explore fabrics from different countries in the house, or you go to a tailor neighbor, just pick up scraps. Through these fabrics, they can learn about colors. I can put these different fabrics in the cart. Another way to make it work in real life is, do you have a tight budget? Because this is always the challenge, whether we like. And look how children get bored easily. You go and buy a car. Okay, today you bought Lightning McQueen. Tomorrow they will tell you no, it's Cat Boys Mobile, or Black. What do they call it? Call him and Batman's mobile that they want. So the way to go will be to use nature items, recyclables, old shoe boxes, old boxes, old spoons, old cooking pots. These are the things. Work with recycled materials. Are you a busy parent? Then let me tell you, a prepared space reduces setup and cleanup. Once I have a box, okay, I put all these recycled materials inside. I kept it. I have someone at home watching the children from this time to this time. That person, I would tell them, I say, okay, this is the box of recycled materials. When they come back, ask them to build a tower with these materials and draw for me. In this building a tower, they are going to stack the boxes. They are developing hand-eye coordination. They are going to balance. They are going to work on balance because they should be able to balance it. And then you ask them to count the number of boxes. That is math. You ask them also, draw for me the structure that you created. That is the pre-writing skills. So haven't we covered how many areas of learning in this setup? Being busy is not an excuse. It's just having a prepared space. Once you have it, it will help you. It will reduce. Some of us moms are working from home. We are blessed with that. So having it ready will help you. So you can see how from this masterclass, we are sharing tips that will make it work in real life. I'm not coming here to tell you things that are outside of the box or things that are not working. You don't need more stuff. You just need to be intentional. You just need to be intentional. You just need to say to yourself that I want my child to get something, to learn. I want my child to build resilience. I want my child to build emotional skills. Maybe I get dolls, different dolls. Or okay, I get something for the child to make a puppet. And then we are thinking of how to care for the dolls. So you just need to be intentional. What do I have in the house? And how can this thing change? A stick can represent a phone. It can represent a ruler. It can represent a magic wand. You don't just need to go and say, okay, I'm buying a magic wand, I'm buying a phone, or I'm buying this. So I'm going to now, I said, from this master class, I want you to take away like 3 corners you can set up in the house. So the first one, so easy to set up, which was the one that I just described, was a building and construction corner. We all love shoes, whether as moms or dads. So it's easy for us to source this one. Even if you don't have it, you can go to your neighbor, or you can just, do you have some old shoe boxes? Do you have sugar boxes, cereal boxes? Just in the corner of your child's room, or if there's no space, like I said, inside the house, you can take, the environment is also outdoors. You can put this in a bag and take it outside. So, but you need to do one of the first areas you can have in your environment, simple, easy to set, is a building and construction corner. It's a creative space for stacking, balancing, building, and designing. What do you need? Empty cartons, cereal, shoes, tissue, plastic bottles, paper tubes. They can stack with paper tubes, bottle caps, rubber bands, scrap boards, string, clothespin, anything that can balance can be used to set up this construction area. And what will the children be learning from? I described, for instance, just a simple invitation to build a tower. Even some landmarks that we see around our environment. For instance, around us here, we see the Burj Khalifa, or in Abuja, we are seeing the Central Mosque. You ask them to build, it will take lots of strategy, balancing. And then when you come back, you'll be like, talk to me. How did you create this? The child needs to articulate your building language skills. If they drew a picture, you say, tell me about your picture. They're going to talk to you through it. If they use, maybe they even mixed color or paint to create it, you say, talk to me, how did you form this secondary color from these primary colors that you created? That is science skills you're building, cognitive skills there. So this is a very simple corner. This is a very simple place to prepare in your environment. You can invite them to do things like setting up a shop, a market, or pretend school using what's around. Another thing that we can set up is the second corner is a loose part or art corner. So here too, you can, and it can also act as your art corner. You have magazines, brown paper, buttons, beads. These are things that if you just go, which of us doesn't have just that? Some of us have like the cookie, those butter cookie containers, and we put old buttons inside. You can bring out those old buttons, but please check for safety. It shouldn't be buttons they can swallow. Just always check to see that they are big buttons that they cannot easily swallow. And then you give it to them. Old wrapping paper, newspaper, foil paper, bits of yarn. Sometimes it might just even take a trip down to grandma's place, because some of our grandmas, they really have old and interesting stuff. You can bring it. Bottle tops, jewelry, things. Let them create something for you. Make a card. This is a very easy. All you just need to have here is glue. And if they are child size scissors that they can also use. So this is another one. Having pencils, having crayons, or sometimes, okay, you don't want to invest in pencils, you don't want to invest in paint. You should, if you did not avail the home activities kit Miss Marybeth had on in her during her birthday promo, go in there and get that resource. You can see how to make paint from home. Even charcoal, you can use charcoal as a pencil. So you already have your art corner set up from things you have at home. You can make paint from home and you don't need to go buying anything. Another thing that you can do is to set up a pretend play corner. This is so easy. How many times have you seen your child taking your shoes, the even their father's shoes, your shoes to put on? They took your hat, they put on, they hung your bag. So a pretend play corner is very easy. Go to the kitchen, bring out old pots, you keep it for them. You bring out maybe old jewelry you are not using, your hats, your old clothes, scarves for dressing up, empty seasoning containers, biscuit tins, wrapping paper, old handbags, things for them to use their imagination. Because mind you, we said imagination is the most powerful tool for learning. It is so powerful. So I would take a pause here, but I want you to remember this. You are not just a parent, you are the child's first teacher, as Miss Marybeth said. You are their safe place. That is, it is you that has you have the key. You are in charge of their foundation. You are the one that will prepare that environment emotionally, physically. You Miss Marybeth said you have certain things that are important to you, certain values, certain things that you want your child to grow up learning. So you are their biggest influence. I once watched something on also when on social media, the man was saying that he doesn't let other people program. He used the word program his children. That is selling ideologies to them that are not in line with his beliefs. So you are their biggest influence. So think about it. What kind of influence do I want to give to my child? Let's make a home a space where it's natural. It's not like it's a big deal. You already have what it takes. We are just here to help you unlock it. You already have what it takes. That you are here in this class, you already know how important and how powerful this is. So you are already your child's first teacher. Now your home can be the most inspiring classroom. And I tell you, research, evidence, data backed up research has compared children that were learning through traditional ways, rote ways, where they are not constructing in their learning, they are not joining. The teacher is just the one giving, or the adult is just coming as the full precursor of knowledge. You will find that those children, even their creativity and problem solving skills are not developed. Because play doesn't wait and their childhood is now, you need to start now. Don't waste time. Get on board. Get on board. Look to this space. Miss Marybeth will come back on to let you know what big and amazing things we have coming up to support you. She spoke about the individualized education plan, strategies for play, how there are different kinds of play. Play is so huge to unpack. There's because sometimes I hear parents asking questions like, "My child is alone. How will they play?" There are types of play. There's solitary play. Sometimes based on their ages, 1 to 2 year olds don't even play together. They do parallel play. They play side by side. Um, there are also different kinds of ways that children are playing. They are called schemas. Sometimes they just keep transporting. You just watch your child. He went to the dining room. He took something. He went and kept it in the living room. Took it from the living room. Went and kept it. They have a bag. They are transporting things around, and you are wondering, why is this one always packing stuff? Guess what? They are learning. Transporting is a schema, and that's how they are learning. This is also something that we can unpack once you are here on this platform with us. So thank you so much. It was amazing talking to you all. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you so much, Mrs. Alu. Miss Alu. So you hear when educators are talking, you always hear miss, 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 because in the
Yes.
education ground, everybody is miss, whether you
Yes.
are grandma or whatever, you are miss. All right. So that was impactful, subtle but impactful. So dear parents, listen to this. When we are talking about what you can do, right? What you can do to bring learning, this close to your child. What you can do to make learning authentic. Learning should be what, you can you can you can reach out and touch. That's how close learning, real learning is supposed to be. Learning is not supposed to be vague, it's not supposed to be abstract. Learning is supposed to be as close as possible. Now, learning, especially when we're talking of active and practical ways of learning, if you follow me, especially when we're talking about young children, which is what we do now and what I'm going to be doing a lot, henceforth, when we're talking about learning for this group of children, see, it is subtle, it is jeje, it is step by step. You see how Miss Alu did not come and rush and she was taking her time, because that's how learning should be for this group of children. You should take your time, break it, understand this thing step by step, and that is how it works. It's not about packing in a lot of information, it's more about the practical things that you can use, that you can apply. Basically, recently I ran the personalized education course or challenge. What we do is more like challenge. And why do we do challenge? Because the kind of programs that we run are not programs where you can just come and do 1 day, 2 days and go. In fact, that PEP course was for 7 days. The parents in that course are still in the course and they are still building their PEP. And I am okay with it. I am there with them. If they paid for, how much did they pay? 3,000. How much was this? 5,000 or thereabouts. It's not anything, as in the price for that course, if you were to ask me, it's like building, if you're an intentional parent or you belong to TIP, it's like creating your parenting plan. You're creating like a 10 years or 5 years parenting plan. So you know that it's not beans. In fact, I even gave them a bonus and I said, if you finish in 1 week, I will give you a free one-on-one session, just me and you. No one was able to make it because you are creating a plan. A lot of us will sit down. We've been hearing parenting plan. We've been hearing create a curriculum. We've heard this thing over and over again. Every time we nod our head, be like, yes, yes. But you've not been able to create it. You have still not been able to create it today. And what we're seeing is these things are things that you must sit down to create. See, the moment you put these things together, the moment you create them, you begin to fly in your parenting, because now you have a road map and you have a guide. The person will no road. As in, do you understand? If you know where you're going to, it's very easy for you to lose your way, because now you have your vision. You have written that vision down and you're running with that vision. You have a destination. It's not enough to have it in your head. The other thing is you want to have it down so that you can walk with it as a roadmap. It's easier, it's better. It's easier and it's better. That's why we run to schools. They have created a curriculum, they've put the plan, they've done all the work. So our children just go and they sit, and the educator seems like he knows what he's doing. It's because he has a map. He has a roadmap, he has a guide, he has a curriculum, he has what he's following step by step. They say you want to transform a person's life, pass them through a curriculum. And that's what we're trying to say, dear parents. Create that curriculum in your home. And in creating that curriculum, we are that practical. We are dealing with young children. So we can't come here and just talk and go with you. In fact, we know the repercussion of it. It is better for you to put a rope around, I mean, a stone around your neck than for you to lead one child astray. So when I teach or when I talk to parents of young children or when I work with young children, that's the thing at the back of my mind. I cannot lead this child astray. So what are the step-by-step ways that you can go about it? What are the things that you can do? How can we break this down to the point that it's tangible enough for you to run with? Except, of course, you decide to not to do what you have to do. But if you say you want to do what you have to do, then we're here to guide you to do what you have to do to arrive at that vision that you are looking at. And that's why we like to put challenges together. And we have put one together because we know it's not just about coming to tell you play, 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 play. I have a book. I have a book here that has 20 play activities. Miss Alu has endless books. If you did
Yeah.
not buy, that's my promo thing. I had to, Miss Anu's books are there. I had to beg her. Each of her book is 2,500. Each of her materials, 2,500. One of them. I begged her
Yes.
to give us, and we bunched all together, and we had 4,000 for four, as in four amazing resources. Right,
Yes.
because play cannot be overemphasized. I've been talking play. I was at TIP, what do you call it? Learning challenge course. We're talking play there. We're talking about how children learn and how this is connected to the brain. So this is not just about us coming to say let children play. It is all connected. It is deeper than just running around in your home. All right. So we've put the accelerate learning challenge, right? So accelerate your child's learning challenge. In that challenge, it's a 3-day challenge. And in that challenge, what we will do is we are going to just help you create the spaces. Now, I love the whole idea of the cat thing. Do you know you can actually have that structure, that cat or whatever it is, that you use to invite your children to learn? And
Yes.
you can use that to teach different things every week. So
Yes.
when you're thinking
This
next week, we're going to be
I
thinking,
have something called, sorry to interrupt you, Mary. There's even something I have called a discovery box. It's just a box, and every week the thing in the box changes. You make a big deal, present it, and children are taking. They unpack it, and the learning is amazing.
that's it. So imagine creating, some light wood kind of thing with a bit of wheel, right? That you just wheel and put in a position in the house, the
Yeah.
position from where you want to teach that thing naturally. There's something about inviting children to play. This is part of what we're going to be talking about in the Accelerate Learning. We don't do talk, talk, talk. If you come for any challenge, it is practical from the beginning to the end. If you've attended any of our challenge, the reading challenge, the creating the stimulating environment challenge, this challenge, the PEP challenge, that's why the parents that should be there with me for 7 days are still there for almost 15, I'll be almost 20 days. They are busy. They are busy. I'm going to give them ultimatum soon. If you don't sit down and do this work, I'm just going to leave you and you will go without your PEP. You are busy because it is hands-on. All those things that you keep hearing, that you keep saying, I will do later, it's time to do it. Let's work with you to do it. So we'll create that kind of system where now you're teaching family values. You're teaching your family values and you say, this month, I want to focus as my theme. I want to focus on our family values. So in this week, we're teaching whatever your family, whatever part of your family values you want to teach. Let's say you want to teach resilience, and you're thinking, what are the things that I can put together to teach resilience? Creativity is part of parenting, and that's why you want to come to that challenge, so that we can put all our creative brain into that challenge. Because at that point, Mr. Lou is training ideas there, I'm training ideas there, everybody's training ideas there. And in day one, for each day, we're going to be creating 5, as in each day, because at the end we want to pack you for 3 days. We want to pack you with at least 15 activities. If we can, we will make it 20. Now in each day we will create different things. I talked about 10 areas of learning. So we'll see if we want to go through those 10 areas of learning. For each day, we will talk about the kind of things that you can put together to introduce that learning. You are not going to be leading the learning. You're going to be creating the environment that will invite your child to learn. So let's say you create this cat in your house or this box in your house. What it means that for that period you stay, you will put in all the resources that you need in there that will invite the children. So as they go to that place, and this is exciting because now even your 14, your 15-year-old will be interested. Oh, what is this thing? As she said, you have put something colorful there. Even your husband will pass and ask, what's that about?
Yes.
Or he tries to walk in there to see what it's about, really. That's the whole idea. Introducing or inviting your children to learn in an exciting or a fun way that makes them curious enough for them to walk towards the learning. They go and seek. Even scripture says, when you seek, you will find. So they go to seek. And in seeking, they begin to ask questions and they begin to answer questions. That's the real learning, where we ask questions and we seek answers to those questions. So you throw in everything in that space that will trigger what it is that you want to learn in that period. And then we're able to deal with it and stay focused on it. So you will get all of these resources together. And even after the challenge, you can now use this, to theme your learning. The PEP that you have created, all of that will now come into place because every week you can throw in, theme your learning, work on it, that way and all of that. So it's simple. And we like to make everything that we do affordable, isn't it? We make
Yes.
everything that we do
Very.
affordable. So to join this challenge is just 7,500 naira early bird. 7,500, you join the challenge. The challenge is on the 25th to the 27th of April. So we still have some time. 25th to 27th of April. And then we will see. I don't know. I like to do, maybe I can even stretch it for 5 days to allow us anything that will make you do what you have to do for me. Anything. It will come with videos, it will come with explanations, and then we will open up the room every evening for conversations. It's open
Yeah.
throughout the day. Then in the evening, we'll have a 1 hour period where we can come and ask questions, talk conversation, throw in your ideas, throw in what you've done and everything. We're going to be busy. If you've been in the children's reading challenge. We do that for 30 whole days. If you've been in that challenge, then you understand what we're talking about. But now you are busy. The children will be involved. Everybody will be involved. And it's just going to be really amazing. All right. So this is it. I'm going to put the information on your screen right now so that you have it. Just screen grab it. Okay. The information is right there on your screen. You can screen grab that information and use it to register. See, you want to register for this one. As in, I'm not even you want to register for this challenge. This challenge will bless you. It will give you answers. It will teach you how to invite your children to learn. It will teach you how to create environment in your home that will make
Yeah.
learning attractive. You see that thing that you go to your children's school and you see one corner like that the teachers have started something. This is what they are trying to do. A lot of times, some people of them will keep it there from the beginning to the end of the term. It's not supposed to be like that. The ones who know change it from time to time. Now we want to teach you how to bring school in a fun way to your home. Okay. And then if you don't want it to be monotonous, you can wheel it away and bring it back. We will create something
Yes.
beautiful. All right. And we're going to be doing it together. So thank you very much. Miss Alu, you have something else you want to say?
No, thank you, Mary Beth. Thank you.
All right, so we've been here for about 1 hour and 27 minutes. We actually said tops 1 hour, 20 minutes. All right, if you have questions, we will take your questions quickly. Alu is 3 hours ahead of us. So this is like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is
Yes.
11, almost 11:30 for
27.
her. So let's see if we have questions so that we can take those questions
Please.
and run. All right, I see. Use charcoal. I can't see any question. My home is my children's first classroom. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Creating a parenting plan. You should do because you should have a parenting plan. 10 years, 5 years, 2 years. Just create a plan and work with it. It gives you vision and it allows you to, you know, be focused. The session is a huge eye opener. Thank you very much. All right, so I can't see any questions here. It's 7,500. That's the only question I see. It's 7,500 naira only for early bird. We will share the flyer in the group like straight up. Remember, tomorrow we're going to be sharing with you the Easter
Well,
holiday
yes.
play plan. Okay?
Schedule.
It's a it's a
Yes.
schedule and it has some ideas for play, especially for the younger ones. So use it, enjoy yourself. We're here to just give you tools that will help you succeed as parents. All right, so I can't see any questions. You didn't miss the offer. We extended it to 12 a.m. this 11:59 this night. So you can still go and grab the offer
The
before
bundle,
it goes
yes.
off. Yes, you can still get it. All right, but it's powerful. There's a whole story using play to tell the Joseph story,
Just
the story
yeah.
of Joseph's colorful quotes. So that's very beautiful. There's also how to help your children study independently. How to guide
Yes.
them to learn how to study independently. And they're
Then
amazing. All the guides in that pack are amazing. After today, they are going to be 10,000. 25254. That's 10,000. You
yes.
get it for 4,000. It's a whole
Yeah.
60% discount. Yes, please. All right, so there are no other questions. I think we have to go. All right, so you have the information on your screen. If you would like to be a part, you should be a part of the Accelerate Learning Challenge. We will see if we can move it for 5 days, but we have 3 days for now, maybe 5 days, so that we can create all of those beautiful, invitations for our children to learn and create that environment in our home. For those of you who don't want to scatter your house and everything, we have a special way that you can do that and still create it. All right, Mr. Abdul, do you have any last words before we go?
Just the takeaway, like we've said, you're your child's first teacher. Don't forget that. Let that stay with you.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah.
So my last word is going to be that, dear parents, you want to create the future that you see for your child. I like the way Coach Wendy puts it. She says there is no destiny anywhere. You are your child's destiny. What you create today, what you build today, what you strategize today, the advantage you give your child today is what will help the child reach that destiny that God has already created for them. So, do you know you can actually be someone who mars your child's destiny? You can actually, by virtue of the fact that you are their parent alone, is enough for you to make a mess of their destiny. And it's enough for you to help them reach that destiny. I would like to ask the question that she asks a lot of the time. If you were Mark Zuckerberg's parent, will Mark be Mark today? If you were Obama's parent, will he have the confidence to dare to be the first black president? So let's leave you with that. Just know that it's all in the empowerment and it's in all that you are willing to do today to help them
Mm.
become all that God has created them to be. Thank you very much for
Yes.
being here today, for trusting us, for being a part of this masterclass. We love, 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 love that you are here, because it is only when you are here that we can share what it is that we carry. All right. And when we are doing this with you, we are doing it with our children too. So, yes, it's not just about you, it helps us to do with our children too. So, it's a win win situation, dear parents. All right.
Yes.
Thank you again. Have a beautiful rest of the evening. Thank you so much, Miss
All
Irene.
right.
It's
Take
always
care. Bye, everyone.
a pleasure to
Bye.
have you. And you know that I celebrate you and I love you. Thank you, darling.
Thank you. Bye,
All right.
everyone. Bye.
The offer, okay, we'll put it in the group, okay? The offer can be found in the group. I'll just share it in the group right now. Thank you again. Bye.